Hi everyone. My name is Hector Estrada. I'll be the instructor this week. And our topic for this week is how to transcend your destiny. Again, how to transcend your destiny. And another word for destiny is basically karma and dharma. And as we already know, karma is pain, dharma is joy. So when we are born, the law of return brings our soul back to this existence. So again, that's the law of return. We come back to this existence. And when we come back to this existence through the law of return, the other law of recurrence also becomes involved in our lives. So basically, our destiny is returning again on a different body and recurring to events that we lived in the previous existence or in the previous existences. So that's basically what destiny is. We're going to live a life based on our karma and dharma of the past actions that we lived before. So we are born, we grow, we procreate, and then we die. That's the horizontal line. That's where everyone basically lives in this life. That's the destiny of everyone. And on that horizontal line where we're born, we grow, we procreate, and we die, again, that's what most people unfortunately do. So when we are born, we come with three things already in place. One is the inheritance. Inheritance means everything that we acquire that we got through our parents, through our family, city, country, religion, political system, language. That's all we inherit when we come back to life, when we're born again. But remember, that's based on what we did before. So we come with the inheritance, the level of education. So if we come with parents that are doctors and lawyers, that's the type of education we're going to have. But if we come with parents that never had an education, they just work just to live day to day, that's the type of education we're going to have. And again, the parents we inherit, the education we inherit, the language and everything else, that's based on our karma and dharma from previous lives. That is our destiny. That's what we deserve to have. Besides the inheritance, the education, we also have the circumstances. Again, the circumstances will be everything that is surrounding us. The city where we live, if we live in a village, if we live in a city, if we live in the countryside, that is part of our destiny, based on our karma and dharma from previous existences. So to transcend your destiny, what do? How can we change all that? Well, it's very simple. It's by dying in ourselves, be born again, and sacrifice ourselves for humanity. The three factors of the revolution of consciousness. If we put those three factors to work every day, we're going to change our destiny. We're going to change all the things that are waiting for us in 10, 20, or 40 years. Because remember, the law of recurrence is going to take us to those events again. It's like we're living a soap opera where, the characters are going to do the same. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to repeat the same things that we did in the past. That's why the future and the past, they link to each other. Whatever we did in the past, it's going to repeat again in the future, unless we change. So that's the objective of gnosis. Gnosis is wisdom, is knowledge. And through wisdom and knowledge is how we can change our lives. If we live in ignorance, we're going to continue to do the same mistakes, repeat the same experiences, kill other people, rob and steal and hate and fight. But if we begin to change through the three factors of the revolution of consciousness, we're going to change our destinies. Our lives are going to change. And that's why Master Samael Beor and all these masters throughout history, that's what they've been trying to do. Bring to humanity the keys to how to change their lives so that they can change their destiny and they can be better people. So again, to die on those egos, laziness, pride, greed, anger, lust, gluttony, enviness. Think about it. If we're able to modify, to change those things for love, to be humble, to have the willpower, to be loving, to comprehend and understand other people, have the philanthropy ideas in ourselves. By changing the world, we're changing ourselves. So to die is to eliminate all those egos that really make our lives miserable and that lead us to karma, to more pain. So our objective is to what? To be born again. To be born again is to work with what? The alchemy energies. To work with the energies, because that sexual energy is there, but if we don't use it properly, it's not going to help us change our destiny, change our lives. So we're going to have in the next classes some teachers on transmutation. And we had some pranayamas before. So if we start using the pranayamas in the morning, at night, we begin to change our energy. We begin to make our chakras activate. And by doing all that, we're changing the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we behave. And that's the objective of Gnosis, so that we can change and modify our destiny. So again, we got to use those three factors of revolution of consciousness to sacrifice ourselves for humanity. Is by taking time and help others. That these teachings, that through knowledge, is how we can change our lives. If we learn the basic rules, of life, we can change the lives of millions of people so that we can all live a better life. So remember, a superior law transcends an inferior law. So what that means is, by doing good deeds, by changing the way we think, we feel, and we behave, that change is going to transcend the inferior law of karma. So let's say I begin to change the way my anger takes over me. So instead of being impatient, I become more relaxed, more calm, because being impatient leads to anger. So let's say I'm on traffic, and the traffic is not moving, and I see somebody moving really slow, and I start horning on these people, on the person in front of me, and I start yelling and everything. But that anger is, what is that anger going to lead? Maybe the person in front of me may get off of the car and come and wanting to fight. And if I let that anger and I get out of the car and we start fighting, that person may kill me. Why? Just because of a moment of anger. The anger between two people that are desperate to get to their jobs, to get home, and traffic is so bad. That's what happens in everyday life. So if that person kills me, maybe in the future, we're going to run into the same event where we're in traffic, another person is horning on me, and I get off to fight, and we start fighting. Now I killed the person. And that's what that's how karma works. That's how destiny works. What I did to someone before, then they're going to do it to me. And we continue to live a vicious cycle. And that's what Gnosis wants us to do. That's what Master Samael Alambeor has been trying to teach us throughout his books. How can we change the samsara wheel? Because the samsara wheel is involution and evolution and returning to the same events of the past. But we're not going to be able to overcome that until we begin to change the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we behave. And we're going to change all that by using the three factors of the revolution of consciousness. So we're going to die in our egos. We're going to create our bodies. We already have a physical, the etherical, the astral, the mental, the causal. So eventually we become real human beings, and then we develop we become one with our being. But we have a goal. We have a way to change all these things. So one of the things about returning to this existence is that we have that free will. And that free will is the ability that we have to change our lives. So remember, again, we have the horizontal line, is the line of knowledge, and we have the vertical line, which is the line of being. That's what we want. We don't want to continue on that line repeating things. We want to begin to change our lives. Begin the line of the being, where we're going to transcend all these different things. We're going to live a different life. We're going to do our pranayamas. We're going to transmutate our energies, because that's the energy, the source of energy that we need to give us that force, to have that will to change all these things. We're going to do exercises, yoga. We're going to do La Mastery exercises. We're going to do the runes. We're going to do exercise, because all these things are going to help us to change. And above all, meditation. We're going to use vocalization. We're going to meditate. And when we start implementing all these things that we have learned in Gnosis, we're going to begin to change our lives. We're going to get better with our loved ones, with our wives, husbands, our kids, our brothers, our sisters, our family, our friends, and everyone else. And we're going to see that our lives are going to change. The moment we begin to think the way, we begin to change the way we think, we're going to be better with other people. We're going to get better jobs. Why? Because we're changing the way we feel, the way we think. We're going to think positive. We're going to change. We're going to think and feel with the willingness to be better human beings, and people are going to see that in our eyes, in our actions, and they're going to want to be our friends. People are going to want to give us jobs because they see something in us. So that's the idea of these teachings. How can we change our lives? If we change internally, we're going to change everything externally. And the law of destiny, we're going to change it. Because again, destiny is karma and dharma. And we want more dharma than karma. So by beginning to do good actions and helping people and changing all those egos that we have, eliminate those egos, and have all those levels of consciousness, our destiny is going to change. Our lives are going to be better for ourselves, for our families, for our kids, and for everyone else. And the world will be a better place. But we got to make that change ourselves by putting those three factors of consciousness to work. And from the deep part of my heart, I trust me, your lives are going to change. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here sharing these ideas with you. But please, let's work hard. Let's put this knowledge to work, and we're going to be able to change our destiny. Thank you for your time, and appreciate it. Take care, and good luck for everyone.